Joining us now, two refugees who've lived through the horrors of socialism and communism. New Hampshire congressional candidate Lily Tang Williams and Manhattan Institute fellow Daniel Di Martino. Great to see both of you. Lily, what do you say to Zohran Mamdani, who is the Democrat now running for the mayor here? Or what do you say to people who vote for socialism?
Well, the people who vote for socialism are the ones who never lived it, who never suffered from the hunger and poverty and the lack of freedom and police state. So those people should be educated about history better. That's failure of our American education system. Our kids don't know the history, and they bought into free stuff provided by government. That's how Mao sold the socialism, communism to millions Chinese, and millions of them starving to death by his central planning socialist policies. So I'm running because I don't want this country become the country I left. And I don't want anybody to take away my gun rights. That's God-given rights. I will never compromise.
I love it. Well, Daniel, I want to ask you something that I'm really perplexed about, and it's not only young people that are gravitating towards the AOCs and the Mamdanis of the Democrat Party, but I'm rather perplexed and confused why white, I call them overly educated liberals, when you look at the breakdown of this Democrat mayoral primary in New York City this week, you're not necessarily seeing the working class, you're not seeing black voters, Hispanic voters, you're not seeing them showing out necessarily for Mamdani, but you're seeing the white liberals, and those are the ones that were celebrating, cheering up and down for him. You gotta help me understand, what is it about that group of people that makes them cheer so ferociously for socialism?
Yeah, thank you all, and thank you for having me. Good to see you all again. Look, what really concerns me about this is what you said, Tommy, that it is really highly educated young people who turned out for Mamdani. And it is really not shocking because I went to Columbia for my PhD, and I saw it myself. People there are the most supportive of socialism. And the reason is because of our colleges here in America. That was one of the most shocking things I saw when I first came to America in 2016, was that it was higher education that was captured by Marxists. And so what happened in Venezuela, that people voted for a socialist regime, unlike in China or unlike in the Soviet Union, can clearly happen here too. And Mamdani might not be able to turn New York City into Caracas because he's mayor and not tyrant, but the point is Americans are willing to vote for someone like him. And today is New York City, tomorrow is the rest of America.
Well, his campaign, he's the child of a famous film director, and his campaign is definitely kind of social media managed. It has that kind of film of like a filter over it. He always tilts his head to seem more endearing when he's on camera. Daniel, doesn't that have something to do with it?
I think he's extremely charismatic, and that's why he's extremely dangerous. I think he lies even when he smiles. I mean, I have very strong opinions about him. His middle name is actually after the dictator of Ghana, not some civil rights leader, but somebody who was named president for life. And so he's friends with the Democratic Socialists of America. That's who trained him. This is an organization that regularly sends people to meet with the dictators of Cuba and Venezuela. He does not want to make New York City into Scandinavia. He wants to make us into Venezuela. The question is whether we will let him. It's whether Americans will let these socialist ideas take over.
Lily, I know that you have fled horrible conditions, and so many immigrants like yourself, they're saying the same thing that you are. Listen, don't make America like the place that I fled from. Now, this is New York City. Obviously, it's deep blue. How concerned are you that other places, maybe not as deep blue as New York City, are going to follow this example? And do you think this is going to be the way that the Democrat Party trends?
Yes, I have seen the radical left wing of Democrat Party took over their voter bases, and that's one of the tactics they use. They use cultural Marxism, identity politics to divide and conquer. They control the media, social media, and schools, and cultural institutions, like take over some churches and nuclear families, and get the kids against their parents and walk away to authority figures. Those are very similar to what I saw under Mao's Cultural Revolution. That's why I'm warning people that we don't want to go down that way, because they sell you free stuff to get you buy into it. Once they totally disarm you and silence you, and install police state, destabilize our country, then you will lose all your natural rights guaranteed by the founding fathers in the documentation called the independence, our Constitution.
Lily Tang Williams and Daniel Di Martino, great to see both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.